All right, welcome back. So we're going to actually start and then step by step go through how we can build our name entity web app. Okay, so in the lab session we have seen how to do that in the Jupyter Notebook or in the Google Colab. Okay, so let's go through step by step and see how we do that. So we're going to install some things using our command line or using our terminal. Okay, so if you're on Mac, you're going to use your terminal. If you're on Windows, you're going to use your command line. Okay, so before that, I want you to create one folder on your desktop, okay, or whatever that you prefer. So in this case, I'm just going to give it a name as say NER. Okay, that is just name entity. You can give it any name that you want. So you can see that I have it over here. Right, let me make it a little bit bigger for you to see. Okay, so you see that I have it over there, right? So let me close this. Then once I have it, so it's just an empty, just an empty folder over there, right? So what I want you to do is that we're going to create one file inside this one, okay? And for that, I'm going to use, you're going to use any text editor. You can use any text editor that you want, right? In this case, I prefer to use Sublime Text. Okay, that's my preferred text editor. You can use any text editor. Okay, if you don't have Sublime Text, you can easily download it. Okay, if you go to Google and you search for say download Sublime Text, okay, download Sublime Text, the first link is quite enough, right? Once you go there, you see that you can download it for Mac OS, Windows, Linux and so on. Okay, so you can just go there and download the one that you suit your system. All right, in this case I already have it, so I'm just going to open it. Right, I'm just going to do Sublime Text and then I'm just going to open it. So that's basically what I'm going to use. Right, so just name it, right? Name it over here. Just go to save as. So for the first time you do save as, right? And I'm saving it inside the name entity folder that I've created. Okay, I'm making sure that I'm saving it inside that folder. Right, so I'm going to name it as you can name it as app.py. That's fine. Save it, and that's it. Okay, so we're gonna create some things over there. So before that, let's install some libraries that we need. Okay, so let me zoom in so that you see whatever that I'm gonna type here. I think it's fair enough. Right, let's do this. Okay, so I think this one is fair enough. Let me push it a bit. Okay, I just want to stretch this part a bit. All right, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cd to this folder. Right, I'm going to make sure that I'm in that folder that we created. So I do cd, it's on my desktop, so I do cd desktop. Okay, then I'm in the desktop, so you can see now I'm in the desktop. Right, then I do again cd. If I do cd, then I mention the folder name that I want to go, or the directory name. Okay, if I do that, now you see that I'm in that folder. Okay, it's an empty folder. So if I do ls, right, if I do ls, you see that there's only the app.py which is there. Okay, which is what we just created. Okay, if you open it, you see that only the app.py which is there. All right, so that's basically what you have to do. Then once you are done with that, the next step is to install the particular libraries. So you do pip install, and then we're going to install spaCy dash Streamlit. All right, so once you type it correctly, right, pip install spaCy dash Streamlit, you press enter and it's going to install it for you. Okay, see that it's running everything there. Right, so if you have it, it's just going to do requirement already satisfied, because I've already installed it at first time. But if you don't have it, it's just going to install it for you. Once you do that, the next one is Python. We do Python-m, right, Python-m, and then we do spaCy download. Make sure you type everything correct. Okay, so download en is nothing but the entity, the pre-built entity that we're going to use. Okay, for this, in this case we're not going to build it from scratch. We're going to use the concept of transfer learning over here. Right, we're going to use what is already being built. If you're on Windows, you might want to run this thing using admin. Okay, run it by admin, right? Either you open your command line by admin, or here you can precede this one with sudo. Okay, something like this. You can do sudo, right? Something like that, and then you run it. Okay, if you do that, it's gonna ask for permission to do it, and that's fine. Okay, but if you're on Mac, it's okay. Or I mean, on Windows 2, just try running it straight away without a sudo. If it doesn't work that way, then you precede it with that, or you close this one and you open it with admin, and it's gonna work fine. So once you type it, just press enter, and it's just gonna take some few seconds to run everything for you. All right. So just wait for it to finish running. All right. Okay, so you see that it's just downloading it for us. All right, so once it's done, then you can proceed to the next step. All right, so we are downloading 12.8 megabytes. We are at 12.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost done. Okay, so that's it. That's the only thing that we have to do. Okay, everything is done. Okay, so if it's installed successfully, you should see this message printed. Okay, download and installation successful. Okay, you should see that. So this is what we downloaded. Okay, we saw this one at the lab session when we're doing it, this one from the Jupyter notebook. Okay, that's what you need. All right, so we're going to actually load this one. So I'm just gonna copy this one, right? Then I'll come here. Once I come here, I'm going to import, right? I'm going to import streamlit. I'm just gonna shorten it as st. Okay, and I'm also going to import spacey underscore streamlit. Okay, and this one I'm just gonna let me shorten it to maybe spt, something like that. You can just shorten it to anything that you want. Then I'm going to import the spacey itself. Okay, all right, so once I do that, then I can do what I copied. I can just paste it there and then store it in something, right? Remember in the lab session we store it like say NLP. Okay, so I can just do it like that. All right, so once you do that, it's just straightforward. The rest is just straightforward. You create a function over here, right? A main function. All right, and then you close it. Okay, you make sure that you close it. So for that you do if, right? If underscore something like that. Okay, and then here you do something like this, right? And then you can close your main finally. All right, so that's what you have to type to close everything. All right, then inside this one, so just push this one down, and then inside here what you're going to create is first create a title. Okay, make sure the alignment is fine. So I'm going to do st dot, which is the streamlit dot title. Okay, and then you can give it a title. In this case, I'm just gonna give it name. That's the title of your web app. Okay, I'm just gonna give it name entity recognition. Okay, something like that. I just shorten it to this, and then I call it an app. Okay, so you can give any title that you want. Okay, then we're going to give a sidebar. We're going to create a sidebar over there, which I'm going to call menu. Okay, and then inside that one, I'm going to give a list of things that I want to put over there. So the first one is going to be the home. I'm just going to call it home. The next one, I'm just going to call it the name entity itself. Okay, then I'm gonna give the users a choice over here, right, which they can choose between home and then the name entity that we have given. Okay, so that's I'm going to do this. I'm gonna put it as a sidebar. So I'm going to do st.sidebar, right, select box, right, something like that. And then once you do that, inside there you can specify that you can give it a name actually, and then specify that. So that's going to be the first choice. Okay, so here you give a condition that if the choice, right, that is if the choice that they have, that is this choice is going to contain the menu. Okay, and the menu has two things over there, home and then the name entity. So if the choice that the person has selected is equivalent to home, right, then what I want you to do is that I want you to do st dot sub, put a subheading over there, right? So subheading, right, subheading, or maybe let me use subheader rather. All right, subheader, this one will work best. And then you give it a word, a title over there. So the subheader that I want to give is say word tokenize, something like that, or maybe word tokenization, right? Let's do it like that. You can just give it any name. There's no strict rule to do that. Okay, then once I do that, I'm going to create a form where they can put a test over there, right? And I'm going to call that raw test, and then I'm doing st dot test underscore area, right? So that's gonna give a test area over there, and test underscore area is gonna contain I need to give a title over there, right? So maybe test to tokenize, okay, something like that. And then I can give a placeholder there, so maybe enter test to tokenize, something like that, or maybe just enter test here, right? I think this one makes more sense. All right, so once I do that, then I can now receive the pre-built model to receive it. Okay, so I do this one and I receive whatever test that they are going to do, so that I'll be able to tokenize it. Okay, I'm going to store it in, say, docs, okay, something like that. All right, so that's gonna be the first one, right? And then once I receive that, then here I'm going to do if button, let me do st dot if st dot button tokenize. Right, I'm just giving the title of the button. Okay, if st dot button tokenize, then what I want you to do is, right, that is if you press on the button called tokenize. Okay, if you press on this one, st dot button, and then the button name. Okay, so that's going to create a button over there. So if the user press on that button, then the test, whatever test the user has given, should be tokenized. Okay, so I'm giving a condition if the user has pressed on that, then what you have to do is to tokenize it and then visualize it for me. Okay, make me see what the tokenizers are. Okay, so visualize, right, visualize underscore tokens. All right, so visualize the tokens for me, and that is going to be what I have used my pre-built NLP model to do. All right, so that is the if part. So the else part is going to be something like this. All right, so that's if, remember we have two things here. If the user select home, then this is the part that is going to run, right? But if the user select the NER, okay, so if choice equals, so I'm just gonna copy this thing, right? So else if choice is the other one, which is NER. Okay, if choice is equal to this one, then what I want you to do is it's just gonna be the same thing, but in this case we are not going to, let me copy it all the way up to here. We are not just going to tokenize it, but we want to visualize the name entities. Okay, so after this one, so here the title, I'm not gonna name it as tokenize, I'm going to name it as name entity itself. Okay, so name entity, or maybe name entity recognition. All right, something like that. And then test to tokenize, enter test here, that's fine. And then once the user does that, then I can use my SPT, right? Remember SPT is nothing but specie underscore streamlit. So SPT dot visualize. Okay, visualize, in this case we need this one, so I'm going to press tab 1 2 3 4 5 times, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, this. All right, this is what we need. So once we do that, then we can pass in our dogs. Okay, and let's run this one and see so far. Okay, let's see if I'm just gonna press Ctrl S to save it, or if I mark Command S, right? And then here I'm going to go to the command line. Here I'm going to run streamlit run app, that's our app name .py. okay, here you have to make sure that you are in that folder, otherwise you get an error. Okay, the folder where your app.py is residing. So just press enter and let's see. Just taking some couple of seconds to render it. All right. Okay, so now it's doing good. Let's see if everything is fine. If you have any error, it's just gonna show you the particular error over here, right? Okay, so we have some error over here, right? As I said, if you get any particular error, it's just gonna show you here. So it's saying that line 21, there's some kind of an error over there. So let's go and see line 21, right? So line 21 is here, else choice. Let's see what we did wrong. Let's see, this one is supposed to be spt, and let's see st.subheader. Oh, this one, let me do elif rather, right? And I think that should work. Let's save it and let's see. So it's just rerunning it. Let's see if this one is what it wants. Okay, so now you see that it's just working fine. Okay, it's still running, but let's allow it to finish. All right, so once it's done, you see that we have test to tokenize. So the title, right, name entity recognition, right, this is the title that we gave. All right, this is the title, and then word to tokenize. Okay, that is what is here, right? Word to tokenize. I think it should be word to tokenize instead of word tokenize. I mean, it's fine, word tokenization, and then this one will be test to tokenize. Okay, that one was this one, test to tokenize, and then enter test here. That's the default test that I've given. All right, and I think basically that's it. The button is this one. I've given the title as tokenize or the label as tokenize. You can just give any label that you want or any name that you want, and then it's visualizing it, because if I paste the test here, it's supposed to visualize it. Okay, so let's go to Google and then search for any test. Okay, so maybe let's go to Wikipedia. I'm just gonna go to Wikipedia and I just want some test over there, right? So let's see, Russia invasion, blah blah blah. Let's go and see what the news is there. All right, so let's just try and then copy some tests from here, and we can go and use. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this one, and then let's go to our app, and then I'm just gonna paste it over here. All right, so once I do that, then let's now tokenize it and see. So you can see that it's running over here. It's going to tokenize everything for us. All right, so now you see that it's tokenized and everything. So I mean, whatever that we gave, right, all the words have been tokenized. Okay, right from the first word on 24 February 2022, right, on 24 February 2022, comma, and so on and so forth. Okay, so all of them have been tokenized for us. Okay, we have it, and then here you have this the token attributes that you can select. Okay, if you want to see some of them, if you don't want to see some of them, you can just click all of them. Okay, you can just do it like that. All right, then let's go to here, right? So here we have two in the menu we have two things over there. We have home, and then we have the name entity itself. So if we go to the name entity itself, right, so you see that now all the name entities have been identified. Okay, all the name entities that we have in our test is being identified over here, right? And that's great, and that's robust. You see that we did not do much, but we can still find all the name entities. Okay, all the name entities are here, and they have been tokenized, and also you see the tokenizations are right down here. They are here. Okay, and you can see the name entities as well. Okay, you can see all of them here. Okay, so it's just like that. You can also click on this one to see the ones that you want and the ones that you don't want, right? You can select them respectively. Okay, so it's just like that, and as simple and robust like that. Okay, and you can see the code is very simple, right? But because we are using a pre-trained a pre-trained model, spacing model over here, so that's why we are able to do that. Okay, if you remember at the lab session, the code were very long because we were doing everything manually, but you can see here we can just easily do the same thing, but in this case we are just using the pre-trained, and the code is simple but still work robustly for us. All right, so that's the deployment for you using Streamlit and Spacey to identify name entities. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to give a good rating and a good review to the course, and post your comments at the Q&A session, okay, which I'll be there to respond. All right, so see you in another interesting project. Have a nice day.